Record. Okay. Well, welcome, Stephanie. It's so good to see you again. Yeah. And so today very excited to get your take on the Sovereign workshop that you attended last month, and how that was for you. And so we're just gonna like have a casual conversation about your experiences. Does that sound okay for you?
Yeah, for sure.
Cool. Okay, so I guess I don't know, where do we want to begin? We can either do we want to begin about any like ahas or insights, or do we want to begin with you kind of sharing your own personal definition of what, the sovereign stage means for you, or how you see it showing up in your life? Happy to start
Mhm.
with either of those, whichever one feels most alive to you.
Yeah, so I feel like my natural idea of what sovereign was basically me connecting with someone through a story that I felt within myself or my past. And yeah, going to the sovereign weekend, like it kind of became clear to me that like sovereign is more of what's happening in the moment right now, which to me was actually quite challenging. I would almost like I had a tendency to like either want to go into the past or the future to
Hmm.
connect and still call that sovereign. So
Got it. So prior to the workshop, how you were kind of holding this, because how we hold sovereign is like the more connected I can be to myself, the more connected I could be to the other. And then by sharing, how I'm being impacted by you, or how you're making sense to me, we start to like weave this shared connection. And it sounds like for you, you were like, yeah, so people share things with me, and then I go into my history and go, okay, what in my world resonates with what they're sharing to me, and that helps me like connect to them.
yeah, for sure.
So, which makes sense. That's one way of doing it. And then in going through the sovereign workshop, you were like, oh wait, it's more than that. It's not just about like, oh, you tell me the story and I see where that resonates with something I can relate to, and then we get to relate to each other. But you're like, it's also about how being with you in the moment is affecting me, and then sharing that with the other person.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like and I find that like I can see it now. I can see it clearly, but I also find it really challenging because it almost feels like to like really share that in that moment with someone feels confrontational. Like it
Ooh.
feels risky. It feels like I'm a little bit more comfortable pulling something from my past that I've already at least half processed and I have a little bit of feelings about rather than like sharing what I have feelings about in this current moment.
Got it. Got it. Yeah. And it's funny. The first word you used was confrontational, and then you moved to risky.
Yeah.
I just felt really curious about that. Like,
Yeah, like well, it's hard to say because I guess it would depend on like what the context was, but like yeah, like I think risky is a better word than confrontational because like confrontational is maybe what I'm expecting if I was to be super present. And that might not be
mm,
what they're expecting, but it's what I'm expecting.
you're bracing yourself for a like confronting reaction from the other. Like, I'm listening,
Yeah.
I share, and you're almost expecting them
Yeah.
to
And
have.
and that's part of the risk, but then there's also like if we're relating to something that's really deep and I'm to like share what's really coming up and what I feel in that moment, that feels risky for me because I don't know. It's almost like I need to like go away and process and then share. So it's
Uh-huh.
hard to like share that right in the moment.
Got it. Yeah, that makes sense to me too. Of like, sometimes our impressions or our feelings aren't instant. Or even if they are instant, you're like, oh, I'm not sure that that's my full expression. or
Yeah.
my true like that's just my first thought. I don't know if it's my fully integrated like
Yeah.
thought.
Or even like it might be too much. Like it might be too much for me to handle. So it's like I need to go see if I can handle it first before I share it with you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, and then in our longer programs, we do talk about that, about how, another layer of sovereign is kind of almost like sports casting what's happening for you in the moment. And so in that case, you would say, like, someone shares something and you've got like conflicting feelings about it. And you go, ooh, give me a second. Like, I'm going to take a minute to sort through. I'm having lots of feelings about that. Let me sort through them and figure out what I want to share. And like, so
Mhm.
you would just name that for them rather than just like being silent or trying to say something that you think they want to hear or would be appropriate. Like, can you really give yourself permission and like create that space in the conversation to go, ooh, like I've got a lot of mixed feelings about that. Give me a second to sift through them and like decide what I want to share.
Yeah. And like now that you say that, like I think of like something else that came up for me was like taking up that space.
Mm,
It's almost like for me that's a bit of a challenge, like to just take up that space or to give myself that space,
uh-huh.
like when like authentic relating or sharing back with somebody. So yeah, like
Hmm.
interesting.
Yeah, I love doing this. And this is like why I love these experiential workshops that we do because like you're in an exercise and you're learning a skill or a tool in the exercise, but there's all these peripheral like learning experiences that emerge too, where you're like, oh, okay, like as I'm in this exercise, then I noticed that like it feels really vulnerable to ask for space to collect my thoughts or to like suggest that someone should wait on me. Like, can I really take 90 seconds of silence and make that person wait while and so then you get to confront like these stories or these rules that you've either kind of like inherited from somewhere or you've created for yourself. And like so
Yeah.
those pop up as well. And it's a real opportunity to notice like what are your patterns? What are your blind spots? And what do you want to do about them?
Yeah.
That's what I like to think about these workshops is I like to think we create a safe container for that stuff to emerge and then you to explore it,
Yeah,
in
definitely.
community.
Like yeah, I definitely agree with that. Having having the workshop one, you're immersed in it like all day for a couple of days. So it gives that opportunity for stuff to come up in a safe environment. And there's so much help and staff around that that you can reach out for support. But it's almost like for me, like I can't get that anywhere else, like
Mm.
in the real world. So it's always like
Mhm.
everything is fast paced, it's happening. So you don't really get that chance to stop and be like, okay, well, what's coming up for me? And then what can I do about it? Where can I go for help? Like, how can
Mhm.
I, in this live moment, work on this and get
Mhm.
results? So,
Yeah.
yeah,
So it's nice to have like a safe container in a structured exercise and just the permission to
yeah,
like, this is what we're doing this weekend, you
yeah.
know. Feels kind of indulgent, but also really important.
It is. And like the best part is everybody else there's doing the same thing.
Right. Yeah, it's like
Everybody else there is wanting experience.
yeah. So you're
Yeah,
like, you're already in agreement that we're giving each other the space to do this.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Cool. Okay, so for you, how you're personally holding sovereign is like sovereign, like where we call it, like the more I can be with you, the more I can be with myself, the more I'm able to be with you. And for you, you're adding to that, like the opportunity of like, yes, when you share with me, I can go into my history and figure out like how does that resonate, and then I get to reflect. And also, you're learning how to just be that in the moment as well, even though it's less familiar and a little more vulnerable, a little more risky. But you're learning how to like be yourself in the moment. And when it's not arising immediately in the moment, sounds like you're learning to give yourself permission and then ask for the space to figure out how am I being impacted? What do I want to say about that? And so it sounds like you're creating opportunities for more of you to join the party.
Yeah, yeah, like it is. It's like it's kind of like opening up my eyes to like, okay, what's happening right now with this person?
Mhm.
And yeah, like I find that very helpful to learn, just to learn how to connect to myself, being in the presence of another person and not always like trying to be two steps ahead or
Uh-huh.
pull something from the past or grab onto like stories and stuff like that. It's like learn how to be here now.
Yeah. I noticed
But
I noticed like just relaxing when you heard that. Like I'm learning how to be here now. I don't
yeah,
have to try to relate it to the past. I don't have to try to pull stuff from the future. I can just let myself be who and how I am in the moment,
yeah,
moment to moment.
yeah.
Mm,
Yeah.
love
And I
it.
definitely appreciate like having an experiential place to do that. Because
Hmm.
like you can go out in the real world and practice it, but it's a lot fast paced and you don't have the other people there to practice it with. Like when you're in this environment for a long period of time, it's like over and over and over. You get to like practice it and then it's like, oh, that didn't work so well, but you get another chance and you get to just keep doing it and
Yeah.
really
Yeah. And
polish it up.
in the safe container of the workshop, when it didn't go really well, you two can both have a chuckle about it and you can both get curious about it. Where in the real world where there's not that tacit agreement, if something doesn't go well, it's a lot messier, it's a lot
Yes.
riskier.
Or I'd be maybe too scared to even try.
Hmm.
Just like, no, nobody here has my back. I don't know what I'm doing. I
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that container is way too not safe.
yeah. Well, piggybacking off of that, I'm curious if you had any kind of like favorite experiences throughout the weekend.
Yeah, I think well, one of my favorite experiences was Peggy did a talk on anxiety.
Hmm.
And I actually participated as well in the big group with that talk, but just even the fact that like the way she brought it up and like we're going to talk about anxiety was like there's just this part of me that's like, oh, finally. Like it was just so comforting because it's just like it almost feels like in the real world we're not allowed to talk about it and everyone's pretending they don't have it and so that's how we're supposed to behave and it's like everyone experiences it in their own ways in different ways and we do need to talk about it. So
Hmm. Yeah.
yeah.
Especially that social anxiety of like that tug of war between like be like autonomous and authentic, but also wanting to belong and wanting to be accepted. And those things are often at odds with each other. And like, I don't think we do talk about it enough. Like, what's it like to have those two things in competition with each other? And what do you do about it? And how is it for you? And so
Yeah.
you really liked that lecture and that discussion.
Yeah, and even just like the thought of being sovereign with anxiety, it's like how many moments in my life where I've experienced anxiety have I been allowed to say it at that moment? Like like it's almost like I missed out on that.
Yeah.
And there could be so much greatness that could come from like being able to say that like I'm having some anxiety right now and this is how I'm feeling.
Hmm. If you could do a little like thought experience even right now, like what do you imagine? Is there any like recent experience you've had where either you did give yourself permission to be like, oh, I'm feeling a little anxious and it made a difference, or that you think if you had named it, it could have made a difference?
Yeah, I don't I never have in that moment. Like I to on it, yeah,
Not
to be
yet. You
honest.
haven't given you
Yeah,
haven't you haven't done it yet.
I haven't done it yet because it feels like a lonely moment that you would have, I would have by myself. So it's like almost like unrecognizable, but yet like I can
Mhm.
recognize it because I can think about it.
Mhm.
And it's just never crossed my mind to like share it with someone. But like it could be so beneficial. I bet you it might even go away if you just shared it
Mm,
with someone. Like,
yeah. I'm so wanting this for you now, like whether, with your fiance or, with one of your adult children, like being able to go like, okay, I feel a little anxious asking for this, or I feel a little anxious saying this to you, and like see what happens. Like what alchemy is created when you name it, because I
yeah,
would like when I imagine hearing it from you, like it evokes compassion in me. So it's like almost like you would be priming me to listen more compassionately or like take something less personally if you like, okay, I feel a little anxious, but I'm going to say this anyways.
yeah,
That's what
yeah.
I notice when I imagine hearing it from you.
And I think like I feel like that's a lot nicer way to think about it rather than like trying to like think your way around and how to say something in a certain way. And yeah. And again, like that would be sovereign.
Yeah. I mean,
Like,
as you kind of identified at the beginning of this, you know, chat of like speaking in the moment, speaking what I am noticing within myself between the two of us in the moment.
yeah,
It's like there's a real like connecting energy that brings,
yeah,
you know.
yeah. It's very fitting. Like having an anxiety talk on a sovereign weekend, I feel like is like very
Yeah.
fitting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
How could you not? Like
yeah,
anxiety is such a core human experience. How can you talk about being more in touch with yourself and more in touch with others without acknowledging anxiety?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, solid point. Nice noticing.
yeah. It is
That was
really.
one of your favorite experiences. Are there any others you want to share?
Yeah, like so like that was my favorite. Like it was just like a talk,
Yep, so
but
that was
I
your favorite lecture.
yeah, favorite lecture. And then like I was in a circle, Faisal was circling me,
Mhm.
and there were several others there too. And and he kind of kept I don't know, he was probably picking up on something with me, but he kept like slowing the circle down and slowing the circle down. And then I guess I had a quite of a sovereign moment, and I was like, because he said, "Well, what's happening for you now?" And I'm like, "I'm just looking for another problem." Like it's like just like that realization of noticing however much I slow down, like I literally will look for something else. So it's like I'm still looking. I'm not slowing down to the point that I should be.
Ooh. And what point should you be showing down to?
Yeah.
I'm wondering what are you shooting on yourself right now?
Well, I guess like just to get to that place of just acceptance.
You weren't slowing down enough to just be in acceptance of your experience. You
Yeah.
kept looking for like, what's wrong, what's wrong, what's wrong. And
Yeah, like
just,
I'd look for something else, and then and it kind of like represented my life in a way. Like I'm always on this mission to like slow my life down more or slow myself down more. Oh, Stephanie, you need to meditate or like all of these things, just slow down, slow down. But what happens when I do is like, oh, well, this is why you don't want to slow down because then you just look for another problem to put on your plate. So it makes sense why you wouldn't want to do that.
oh, it's so funny. Like I was feeling tense as you were talking about it. Like, oh, every time I slow down, I just look for another problem. And then when you named it, I was like, of course I do that because the more I slow down, the more this like inner critic points out what's not right. So why would I slow down and give that voice any, you know, room to talk?
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna like at least there's some control when I'm looking for the problems.
Yeah.
Why would I slow down enough to let like some sort of subconscious voice tell me what's wrong with me?
Yeah.
Oh, it's so funny. I don't know. I don't know why I relaxed when you noticed and named it, but I
Yeah.
did. I mean, it is kind of a scary thing you noticed and named, but somehow just noticing it, naming had me relax.
Yeah. Well, because I feel like it's like it was like a just like a nice realization because it's like, oh, it's so nice to know that about myself now.
Yeah.
Like now, like, and then there's less beating up on myself about like, why I don't meditate or why I can't slow down. Like I'm not questioning that as much because it's like, well, it makes sense. Why would you want to sit with that?
Yeah. So the awareness helped you kind of get to this place of self-validation. And,
Hmm.
and then that felt better.
Yeah,
Even
it
though
does.
you're like, the problem's still here, but I have deeper awareness and acceptance of it. And so then
Yeah,
I feel better about it. It's not this
yeah,
like mysterious dark problem. It's like, oh yeah,
yeah.
I know why that
Like,
is.
and it's like I got to know myself a little bit more.
Yeah. Oh,
So yeah, and like I don't think I could do that any other way, like without having like just an immersive experiences. Is with
yeah.
like
Isn't that so interesting and paradoxical how like immersing yourself in a group gave you personal insights and helped you know yourself more?
yeah,
It's kind of fascinating.
yeah, no, and I love that. Like that's like everything that I do, I'm like I always want some sort of immersive group
Yeah.
because it's like so much gets done there. It's
Yeah.
it's like a bunch of busy bees all working on things.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's almost like something like some sort of alchemy that happens when we've got like our collective attention and intelligence working on something versus doing it solo or even paired. It's
Yeah.
almost like it's an exponential opportunity for awareness and growth.
Yeah, like and it even like it's kind of like reading the book. Like I can read the book, but without the experience, the book doesn't mean anything. It's
Yeah.
just information. Like I don't there's nothing to absorb really. And
Yeah.
then but when I can go out and like be in a safe environment and have this experience and there's people there, they have your back and you're taken care of, then it's like I get to have that full circle and not just like half and then it stops,
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
that makes sense. So,
Yeah, because it's not just the information, it's also then the lived experience of it. You're like
yeah.
information in action
Yeah.
that brings it full circle. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay. So we've got some of your favorite experiences. Were there any kind of challenging experiences that you recall from the workshop?
Yeah, like just noticing my inner critic more, like really hearing her and seeing how loud she is and shows up.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, and just like the lower self-esteem. Taking up space was sometimes a challenge for me, like and it's still kind of it's a work in progress to like
Mm,
just to know that like I matter just as much and that it's okay if I take up some of that space too. So, and then, but again, it's like having those safe experiences is like,
yeah,
those are my stepping stones.
yeah. Where you're hearing these limitations and then you feel like you're in a safe place where you can push the
Yeah.
boundary of those limitations a little bit and see what happens and maybe even have some corrective emotional experiences of like, oh, I let myself take up more space and nothing bad happened. In fact, I got some positive feedback.
Yeah. Yeah. Like it definitely is like, yeah, I'm getting correctional experiences for sure.
Lovely, lovely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, and so we've got some of your favorite experiences, we got some challenging experiences. How about any like ahas or insights? Any new like tools or concepts, like anything like that that you took away from the workshop?
Um, I think the biggest one that's like kind of made the biggest shift is just, it's really noticing like when I'm conversing with somebody is like really noticing like what I feel and like and just really paying attention to that like that's valid. Like if someone says a word and I feel something, it's like it's like just slow it down for a minute and just like what did that word do and like what does that mean to you and what like and it to me it's like magic because it's like showing me my next work too because it's like okay well somebody said this one word and it just like it triggered me, it felt like a stab. They don't know that but I know that.
Hmm.
And like if I'm in an experiential moment and I can share it, then I can share it in that moment, but I can also like explore it. And
Ooh, yeah. I like I like the options here of like, and if it feels like the container has the permission, I can actually say, like, oh, like I heard you say this, and then I noticed
Hmm.
fear or noticed like worrying you were judging me, or I noticed that like, that one had me feel,
Yeah.
angry or happy, like,
Yeah.
or interested. Like I noticed I felt really interested when you said, like, so if there's the room in the container, practicing letting yourself take up space and share, like, oh, I noticed this was my visceral or emotional response to hearing that. And if it doesn't feel like there's, the right timing or the right space or the invitation, that noticing it for yourself and bookmarking of like, I'm gonna journal about that later, or I'm gonna ponder that on my walk
Yeah. Totally.
as well. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
And even knowing too, like, because I guess you could call that like a sovereign moment or something. Like, and so if I can't talk about it in that moment, but later on, I'm like, yeah, I noticed this. This is what came up, and this is what I started to feel. And usually I'll find a link to it. I can go back and share it with the person later.
Yeah.
Like, like it doesn't, even if you kind of miss that opportunity, like I still have that space to like, I can still go back and share it. Like this isn't over. And just knowing that.
It's funny as I listen to you, Stephanie, it really, and knowing you from like 6 months ago to now,
Yeah.
really feels like having the safe space to practice these things is giving you a lot more permission to be more fully and authentically you. And like that you really are kind of blossoming and like almost like thawing, or maybe like
Yeah.
blossoming or thawing. Like there's more of your like essence and your personality and the aspects of you available, not
Yeah.
only to yourself, but to be shared with others. Where before it was almost like you were like protectively tamping a lot of things down. Does that
Yeah.
resonate with you in any way?
Yeah, for sure. Like I would say like there was always it's almost like I would wait for an invitation,
Hmm.
but now it's like the invitation is now open. It's like I can give myself the invitation. Where
Hmm.
before it was like it relied on like can this person handle me? Are they going to be okay with it? Like there was always these questions and waiting for the invitation. If it didn't come, then I wouldn't share. Now it's like I get my own open invitation.
Hmm. Yeah. Like that, again, that permission giving,
Yeah.
like, to
Yeah.
take up more space, to
Yeah.
have more experiences, to share your experiences, to feel more,
Yeah.
and to like be
Yeah.
more.
Yeah,
Oh, I love
definitely.
it.
Yeah.
Hmm. Any other distinctions that feel important that you want to share with us, or that you want to name in order to like help them ground and stick around for yourself?
Um, no, like I really just appreciate the group. Yeah, and like all the staff, like I've said this to numerous people, like there's just so much staff, like
Hmm.
and it's so comforting because everyone brings something different to the table, their own uniqueness,
Hmm.
and it gives you permission to be your own uniqueness too. Like it's not just like operated by like one or two people, and I really appreciate that, and the support is there. Like so like it you go ahead and fall on your face because there's so much support there. like
Yeah.
like you're going to be okay. So yeah,
Mhm.
take advantage of that. And yeah, you always get something, like for
It's
sure.
so good to hear that being noticed by you,
Yeah.
because we, take, a really strong commitment to having at least a 5-to-1 student teacher ratio.
Yeah.
And then we have so many enthusiastic advanced students
Hmm.
who want to be at these workshops anyways, that sometimes it's a 3-to-1 student teacher ratio because
Yeah.
we've got extra people showing up and wanting to be there,
Yeah.
because they love the work and they love what they're doing. And so it is kind of a unique experience to be, especially in an online workshop where you have like that intimate of a, student teacher ratio. And as you said, and if there's a point where you're like, oh, I like would love a little additional support, or I'd love to just take 20 minutes to go like in a breakout room during a break and further discuss this with someone, we've got people available to do that. Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, like all the staff and like the advanced students and stuff, like I observed that too. And it's just like they're amazing. Like I'm like they like to me it's like they have such great training. Like I wouldn't really want to be anywhere else.
All right, dear. So then the last question I'll ask you is like, if you had a friend who was on the fence about whether or not they wanted to spend, you know, 12 hours over a weekend, like online at a workshop like this, what might you say to them?
Oh, I would definitely say you have to at least do it once. Like at least do it once. And I did do it once, and like doing it twice was even better. But yeah, you got to at least do it once. Like you're going to get something. Like no matter what, you're going to get something. So I
It's
can't say what, but
yeah, because you don't like everyone gets something different,
yeah, exactly.
but you're going to have greater access to yourself
Yeah,
and a greater ability to communicate your internal world with
yeah,
the people around you
yeah,
in whatever way is most important to you. Because we all have our different blockages or our different,
yeah,
blind spots. And so like
yeah,
can't predict what you're gonna get, but like you're gonna be more in touch with you and you're gonna be able to share your inner world with people around you
yeah.
more than you would have been 2 days prior.
Yeah, and like if somebody like if like I'm someone that like I love doing the work. Like I call it the work. Like whatever's inside that needs work needs to come up or come out. And like if anyone is loves doing the work, like I know they'll love it.
Hmm.
Like I feel like I have a good eye for that. Like I'll eyeball things and I'll read about them and research them. I'm like I like to find like the best places to do the work.
Oh, it feels so warming to hear you say, like, I am a connoisseur of personal growth, and
Yeah.
this is the place to go if you want that.
Yeah,
You know?
definitely.
Yeah. Oh, I love that, Stephanie.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I think I'm sure anyone will love it. I'm sure.
Cool. Well, thank you for sharing your experience of the Sovereign Workshop with me. I'm really glad not only that you stumbled across it the first time, but that wanted to do it a second time and you're noticing like how much deeper and how much more you got in going through it the second time. I'm
Mm,
so happy for you and I'm so honored that you would take the time to share your experiences with us.
yeah, thank you.
All right. Take care, dude.